Fox 45's Mackenzie Frost begins our live team coverage today after sitting down with City State's Attorney Ivan Bates. Critics argue the juvenile justice system is broken. Mackenzie?
Yeah, Kai, the City State's Attorney says that right now he's still concerned that the Department of Juvenile Services is the one making the decisions about detention, and that really stems from the current laws on the books. He also argues that there's not enough attention being paid to community safety and too much focus on the offender.
The importance of that.
After a room full of Baltimoreans voicing their opinions,
lack of resources or knowing where to get resources.
In Baltimore City schools, DJS, foster care.
As elected officials, as folks with access, like, what are we doing?
Baltimore's top prosecutor,
I heard a lot of people who are upset and they want change.
Ivan Bates, says he believes the juvenile system is not working.
The problem is DJS and juvenile system's broken.
Do you feel like the system where it stands right now is focused too much on the juvenile offenders and not as much on protecting and fighting on behalf of the victims?
Yes, I do feel that way. There are a lot of people in this city who have struggled. Financially, they've struggled with bad parents, they've struggled in a foster care system, but they're not going out and robbing people, shooting people, carjacking people.
In Baltimore City and beyond, there's a spotlight on services, wraparound services in the Department of Juvenile Services and in the community. Bates says before someone gets in trouble with the law is the perfect place for support services.
And that, to me, is when a perfect opportunity for Monzi to be right there on behalf of the mayor and the citizens to say, hey, we're here before you ever get into the system. Because once you're in the system, once you've done something, I can have empathy for you, but I have to focus on the victim and the community being safe.
Right now, Bates says community safety is not a top priority for the Department of Juvenile Services. From January 1st through May 13th of this year, there were 130 kids accused of felony cases like auto theft, armed robbery, manslaughter, and first-degree assault. 84% of young people who have been accused of special cases have been released back into the community this year.
Those are the ones that we need to, without a doubt, I feel, protect the community. Bates
says the Department of Juvenile Services is still the gatekeeper in making detention decisions.
The system makes no sense. Allow those who have the law degrees, allow those who are in court, allow those who can argue for the client, being the public defender, DJS, the best interest of the child, and the state's attorney's office arguing for the community, and the judge makes the decision.
He tried to get lawmakers in Annapolis this year to allow judges to make those calls, but that idea failed. Taking DJS out of the decision-making process, making sure that they're no longer the gatekeeper, will that be a priority for you next year?
Yes, that will be one of our priorities, probably our #1 priority. The best interest of the child is DJS's role. I understand that. So therefore, it does not appear the law is telling them to focus also on the community and community safety. So DJS then, to me, can kind of hide behind the best interest of the child. We're going to get to community safety, but our focus really has to be the child. That's fine. If that's the case, then you do that. But then somebody else needs to make sure that they're focused on the best interests of the community. And so, to me, it just makes sense.
After the town hall, the Office of Public Defender issued a statement noting the progress the city has made, adding, while the state's attorney manufactures a youth crime crisis, the facts tell a different story.
OPD must not live in the Baltimore City community.
But Bates is pushing back.
Tell the residents that live in Baltimore City and other communities that their perception of what they're seeing is not the reality, because they're going to tell you it is for them.
Now, Bates says he would hold a town hall with the public defender's office in South Baltimore so they can hear for themselves what the victims of these juvenile crime incidents have to say.
I'm Kai Jackson. Thank you for watching. Here's another video to watch. Also, please take a moment to subscribe to our channel.